Hello and welcome to the adjudication video for the Harmonica Player of the Year 2021. I'm David Beer. I've been adjudicating the festivals for about the last 10 years, and over those 10 years I've seen a fantastic improvement in the standard of technique in the playing particularly. And I think the 29 videos today are certainly the climax of all that work that Harmonica UK have been doing with workshops and chromatic weekends and all those things that allow people to go and play and watch other people play and learn from experts in the instrument too. I've been able to mark on technical skills today, on the mastery of the instrument and the use of various tonal effects that you can use with the instrument, a musical style, and holding our interest for the length of the piece. It's all to do with performance and giving us plenty to be interested in for the 3 or 4 minutes of the length of the song. And certainly almost everybody today achieved that with great success. So I'm going to go through the list of people in the order that they appeared on the video, on the playlist, starting with Raquel Vega, solo jazz, There Will Never Be Another You. Now, I know that Raquel has not been playing for very long, 2 years, I understand, and I thought she played absolutely beautifully. This had an excellent sense of style with some very relaxed phrasing. I love the warm, rich sound. It reminded me of Toots Thielemans and Larry Adler sound. The chromatic embellishment in the improvisation was very, very effective, and the improvisation itself was fluent, not too busy. There were lots of space between phrases, which I think was absolutely right for the style of song. I like the way that you decorated the melody on its repeat too. A really enjoyable and accomplished performance, Raquel. Thank you. Second was Robert Ivacic with a song called Prekmurska. Now, I googled this, and it seems that it's a Hungarian tune. I hope I'm right, Robert. And also, Prekmurska is a cake, an apple strudel type thing. Now, is this a song about cake? I don't know. But I love the style of your playing. I love the tone. And there were some lovely growly sounds in the lower part of the instrument with some wide hand vibrato, which suited the style really, really well. I like the bluesy quality. So there were two styles, really. There was the folk and the blues combining very effectively here. I'd love to have heard more of the harmonica, though. There was obviously a lot of vocal on that track. Paul played Bonaparte's Retreat, Paul Appleton. I loved the video. The rural setting was ideal for this tune. There was some very skillful chordal vamping under the melody, wonderful separation between melody and chords, fantastic tongue blocking there, very rhythmic and correct and appropriate harmonies underneath the melody. So a very skillful performance, and the performance had lots of energy, secure pulse, and a really good flow. I enjoyed that very much. Robert Ivacic again gave us laughing and clowning. There was some great blues playing on this track. Firstly, some excellent fills under the voice in the third verse, and then a really inventive solo with some really fantastic tonal effects and bending. You really understood the style, and you got some great licks in your repertoire, Robert. I thought your playing was a great addition to that track. Well done, thank you. Joe O'Callaghan was next with Bluesette. There was much to admire here, Joe. Some really inventive playing and some great ideas. I would say just try to make the phrases flow a little more. There was not always a clear sense of pulse or direction, and the flow was a little bit erratic and broken up. So just join up the ideas a little bit more confidently, and it'll be great. Dave Colclough gave us Watermelon Man. There was much to admire here too, Dave. I loved the tonal range with which you coloured the tune, helped by skillful hand muting, some good draw bending, and vibrato on the long notes. Use the whole range of the instrument in the improvisation. So the top notes really sang out well and the low notes were rich and full. There's a really good sense of style. Perhaps the improvisation could flow a little more. A very accomplished performance, nevertheless. Thank you. Robert Ivacic again gave us C Boogie with a guitar friend. I liked this arrangement, and it was a nice, inventive improvisation, although I didn't feel it all hung together quite as well as your other one, which we'll come to in a minute. There were some timing issues, and the playing wasn't quite as fluent or as harmonically sound as your E minor blues, which comes later. But I did love the energy in your playing and the fact that the ideas kept flowing. Some nice stylish bending to colour the sound too, so well done. Joe O'Callaghan gave us Swing Blues in A. Lots of energy here, Joe, a really good sense of style. Some good draw bending, melodic tremolos, and the melody was thickened out with some nicely chosen chords and intervals under the melody. Try to feel the rhythm of the track a little more clearly. There were a few times where the pulse and time got a bit lost. I like the fact that you use the mic well. Perhaps the tone balance between blow and draw could be evened out a little bit more. That you could really distinguish which was which there, and I think we should try just to smooth that out a little bit more. Gary Murray gave us Alleluia, I Love Her So. This was a very accomplished jazz performance, nicely close mic, so you got that nice, authentic 50s, 60s sound. The head was really clearly stated, and the improvisation flowed really well, following the changes very successfully, so we never lost the thread of where the harmonies were going. Nice lot of tonal variety and some good draw bending, never overused. Very careful that, Gary, because sometimes when people bend notes, they do it all the way through a piece, and it can get a little too much, but that was very nicely judged. Thank you. Russ Turner gave us amplified free play. This free jam gave you the opportunity to display your knowledge of the technical range of the instrument and of the possibilities that you can get by using close miking. So there was some distortion, some feedback, as well as the usual sort of draw bending and growling and vibrato. So there were lots of stuff to enjoy here. There was a great sense of style, really good understanding of the harmonic changes. So the improvisation stayed within the chord structure beautifully. A very enjoyable performance. Well done. Robert Ivacic with E minor blues. Now, this is the one I referred to earlier. Classy blues playing here. The improvisation flowed really well and followed the structure really closely and clearly. We never lost the thread. Some really stylish licks, nice chordal playing added to the melody, some nice draw bending, which wasn't overused, and some nice tonal variety. I really enjoyed this performance. There was a real sense of structure and musical shape, even though it was just an improvisation. Martin Lee gave us Those Were the Days. This had a very French feel, which was what I think Lennon and McCartney were going for here. It was also very reminiscent of the classic style and the warm sound of the great melodic players like Larry Adler and Tommy Riley. It was a very expressive and enjoyable performance that captured the mood of the piece really well. The tone was well balanced and the single note work was really well controlled. Well done. Joss Lygen, if that's how you say it, I do apologise if it's not, gave us Irish tunes in the first video. This had an excellent rhythmic drive, and you kept it in time with some nice foot tapping, which was a nice stylish addition to the playing. There was a really good flow, and I liked the way the melody was punctuated by the chords at the ends of the phrases. Some good draw bending and a really good feel for the style. So you were combining a bit of a bluesy feel with the Irish folk style, so a sort of modern take on the Irish folk style, and I thought it was very enjoyable. Well done. Lena Freeman gave us Laughter in the Rain, lovely pop tune, and this was excellent stylish melodic playing, some excellent breath control to shake the phrases and colour the long notes. I like the addition of the vibrato and some very subtle bending, which suited the style very well. Perhaps you could even out the tone between blow and draw a little more. Some of the higher draw notes were perhaps a little thin, so just work on that. Brian Smith, Besame Mucho. This was a really good version of this tune. There was a good Latin flavour to the phrasing and the rhythm, and the guitar accompaniment was perfect too, so thank you for that. The playing had energy and good rhythmic drive. The clarity of the melody was impressive too. Good single note work here without allowing too many unnecessary notes to intrude. Breath control was good, and the long phrases and tonal projection was very secure, so very enjoyable performance. Thank you. Gary Murray gave us Blueberry Hill. This was a really detailed and inventive performance that held the listener's attention throughout. To play such a well-known tune as this, it's good to add your own embellishments, and you did without losing the character of the tune. I loved the growling, the vibrato, the trills, and the tremolo that you put at the end of the long notes to colour the ends of the phrases, and it was really entertaining and held our attention throughout. Well done. Joss Lygen again with Duke. Now, this was an excellent cover of the Little Walter standard with some tasteful and stylish bluesy improvisation, very much in the Little Walter style. I thought the use of the mic was very effective here in helping to create the full tone and sound of those 50s recordings. There was an excellent rhythmic sense and a good range of techniques, lots of vibrato, draw bending, and tremolo on chords, This was very accomplished performance and very enjoyable. Thank you. Michael Heath gave us Sweet Georgia Brown. I like the sound you got on this recording. A nice little bit of reverb on the mic really enhanced the sound. Nice Toots Thielmann's vibe in the styling and the phrasing and the sound, although it could have swung a little more. Some of the phrasing was perhaps a little bit rigid. It was a very enjoyable performance, nevertheless. Raquel Vega gave us Midnight Cowboy. I thought you captured the detail and the essence of the original recording of this classic harmonica tune very successfully. Beautiful single note work, excellently controlled. The breath control was excellent, and you kept the tone securely and evenly on blow and draw, so it was a very fluid and even performance. You could perhaps aim for a little more dynamic variety overall, though. I like the way you shaped the long notes, gave them rhythmic bounce with your diaphragmatic breathing. That was really effective. Very nice playing, well done. Bill Dixon gave us Wayfaring Stranger. This was stylish and expressive with good use of chromatic notes to decorate the melody. The tone was clear with good single note articulation, although a couple of extra notes did intrude at times. Vibrato was used very effectively to colour the sound, and palm muting created some nice tonal variety too. I like this. It had a relaxed, unhurried flow, and it was very nice. Shirish Swami gave us an Indian piece, which I'm not going to attempt to pronounce, but very fluent playing and had a very secure rhythmic sense. The melody was very clearly articulated with some lovely single note work and some very effective vibrato. It was a really expressive performance, and I like the way you coloured the long notes with careful use of the breath. I would say just try and move the instrument rather than moving your head for the ornaments, because you'll find you'll be able to get better fluency if you do that. Russ Turner, Going in Circles. This was a very stylish and tasteful performance. Really good range of techniques used, some growling, some bending, hand muting, vibrato, and kept the interest for the whole performance. The melody was well phrased with very good articulation of single notes, tongue blocking, and good use of the tongue to give a strong attack at the start of the notes too. So that was very effective. It gave a real rhythmic drive to the piece. There was impressive breath control for sustaining long notes and maintaining the tone over the long phrases. Nice balance between draw and blow notes too, so well done. Steve Scott, Gabriel's Oboe. Now, my wife's an oboist, so I know this piece very well, and it's not an easy tune to play on the harmonica. It was a very good attempt, but ideally this should be more legato, so work on breath control to create a smoother melodic line here. Sometimes the timing was a little bit uncertain, and sometimes extra notes intruded into the melody line. So just take extra care with the tongue blocking or pursing, whichever you're doing. There wasn't a video, so I couldn't see how you were achieving the single notes, but just take extra care with that. Tom Finnegan, It Must Be the Devil, playing, singing, and obviously playing guitar, as well as playing harmonica. So, a very good version of this Otis Spann tune, very fluent, well managed interplay between the voice and the racked harp. Very good chordal playing here. You always hit the right spot, which isn't easy to do when you're singing and then diving into the instrument. Actually making sure that you get into the right pitch is an achievement in itself. It was a really good sense of style, and the improvised solo had some good draw bending and excellent variety between the melodic line and the chords. A really accomplished performance on all the instruments, so well done. Rowena Miller, La Complainte du Folkloriste. This was a beautifully haunting and classy rendition of this beautiful tune. The melody was expressively phrased, and intervals were added to colour the melody at times, which was very nice effect. Nice chromatic decorations to the long notes. Perhaps a little more vibrato on the long notes would colour the notes further, but beautifully timed with the track, and a very, very enjoyable performance. Lovely, haunting. John Kring, In the Garden. Lovely clear tremolo sound that suited the tune very well. You followed the rhythm of the track very securely, maintained the slow pace very well with some good breath control. I really enjoyed this performance. It was simple and unflashy, but really affecting and held my attention right to the end. Shirish again with, in English, a film piece called Somewhere Far Away. A lovely piece of film music, and you played it very musically. I like the way you explored the dynamics and created tonal variety with good use of muting and vibrato. I'm really impressed with how your playing has developed to the point where you can tackle an extended orchestral piece like this and maintain our interest throughout with some lovely expressive playing and a nice evocative video too to accompany it. So well done, very nicely produced. Thank you, Shirish. Maristella Pantone, playing a concerto in A minor for violin by Bach. You handled this technically challenging piece very, very well, and there was excellent fluency overall. There were a few small uneven moments where we lost the pulse, but overall the playing was very impressive. I tell you what, it would be good to hear this with an orchestral accompaniment to give the full flavour of the piece. See if you can find a track without the solo part on it. I'm sure they exist, and it would help your playing, I think, too. But a very accomplished performance for someone so young. It was lovely, thank you. Adam Pritchard was the last one. Gorby and Boogie, an excellent close mic'd recording with a very fluent improvisation. Chord structure was always clear in the shape of the melody, so we never lost the shape. There was lots of textural and tonal variety and techniques used, good mixture of draw bending, chordal tremolo and vibrato. And I like the way that the overall melodic range gradually got bigger. So it started off within an octave and later used the whole range of the instrument. So there's a real musical progression in that. Very stylish and accomplished playing, Adam. Thank you. So now we come to the final judgment. I'm just getting my list up of first, second, and third place. Well, firstly, I'm very pleased to announce that we have a young harmonica player of the year because Maristella Pantone is only 14 years old. And to play a piece of Bach on the harmonica at 14 is a brilliant achievement and deserves the Young Harmonica Player of the Year. Congratulations, Maristella Pantone. In the adult competition, in third place, joint third place, Raquel Vega for Midnight Cowboy and Robert Ivacic for his E minor blues. In second place, joint second place, Russ Turner for Going in Circles and Paul Appleton for Bonaparte's Retreat. And in first place and Harmonica Player of the Year 2021 is Rowena Miller. So big congratulations to all the winners. And as I said before, there are many highly commended performances in there as well. It was so hard to choose between first, second, and third. And I did like to commend so many of those performances because they were really superb. So thank you very much for your entries and your performances and all the work that you've put into it to achieve that standard today. Congratulations to you all, and thank you very much. See you next year.